Happy Friday, January 20th, 2023. As I look at this camera, I feel like I'm sitting kind of low. I'm in the DigiByte 2. It's a little bit newer than the old one. It's only got 70,000 miles on it, and it's a 2004. It doesn't get many miles. It's gas, not diesel. I gotta have something looked at. It feels like the RPMs are a little high and it burns too much gas. So anyway, I don't know. Figure it out. It's got better heat in it though. But the problem is I've got the stand in here for the camera is off a little bit. I need to raise it up. My daughter's driving. Raise it up a little bit. Anyway, you're gonna have to bear with me. I got the steering wheel right in the way. I saw yesterday that Kevin McCarthy and the House Republicans are proposing a flat sales tax, a national sales tax, abolishing the income tax and proposing a flat sales tax. So what happens with that income that was generated before, it has to be paid somewhere, supposedly. But the bills have to be paid, so they're proposing a national sales tax. So I'm not sure what, I'm torn on this issue. I like a flat tax. Bill Clinton on Arsenio Hall playing the sax. That's the image that popped into my head. All right, random thought, man. But a flat tax, I'm for that. I'm not for income tax. I'm just not, because it's a tax on production. It's a tax on productivity. It's kind of like your property tax. When you improve your property, you get punished for it. If you work more, you get punished for it with the income tax. So that's what I have a fundamental problem with. So in essence, I do like a national, I don't even like it. I don't like any taxes, but I would prefer a sales tax. And the reason why is because there are some things that are discretionary that, you can use your discretion to buy or not. So somebody cheap like me, I'm not going to spend as much, and so I'm not going to have to pay as much tax. You've got the opportunity to kind of control the tax a little bit, whereas the income, you make money, they take it right out. You don't even see it. It's gone. Take it right out of your check. The employers are the enforcers, and they force them to do that. Now with this, the merchants are going to be the enforcers, which they're already doing. So you got to ask yourself, do you need the IRS at that point? I mean, I guess people will make the argument that you do, but if it were a flat sales tax to where the merchants are collecting it anyway, they're already collecting sales taxes, run that out of the Treasury. Why we got income, why we got the IRS dealing with stuff at that point? Eliminate that whole agency. I don't know. The proposal is like, it's going to end up being almost 30%. 30% sales tax. Which sounds horrible because, that's a lot. And then you add your local taxes on top of it. Some jurisdictions like, I don't know. It just depends. There's going to be loopholes on all this. Food might not be taxed as much because it's not now in most places. But restaurant tax, you go out to a restaurant, I think here in the area, it's like 10.5% in the Peoria area. 10.5%. Food tax, restaurant tax. Are you going to have 10.5% on top of another 30% sales tax? I mean, those are things that, so you're going out to eat, it's going to cost you 40% more than the stated price on the menu, and then you got a tip to leave. So, you're over 50% of what it shows on the menu is what you're going to end up paying for it. I mean, but you'll have more disposable income. I mean, from the income tax, you won't be taxed on all that. It's a tough one. I'm not really sure. I would rather say, hey, let's eliminate about 3/4 of government and just do it that way. As far as the debt, I mean, honestly, who are you indebted to? A lot of them are intergovernmental agencies and entities within the United States. I mean, there is some foreign debt, but I think at some point you just say, you know what? We're just not going to make good on it. F it. Just cancel it and start over. And the thing is, though, you got to start building up production here and have resources here so that you've got something to back the new dollar. Because most countries are going to be like, oh, F that, I'm not investing in there. I'm not going to invest in America anymore. Yeah, but the thing is, they're investing in the debt. So if you eliminate the debt and you start over clean with a debt-free currency to where you just create it out of the treasury, and then you start production up in America, people will come if you have production. And if you do things well, they're going to come. And they're going to want to invest. So I don't know. I think, the U.S. could default on the debt and just be done with it. The problem is they want to maintain this ancient structure of control with a debt-based currency in a central bank. And until that's gone, you don't release that octopus that's strangling you. The tentacles are everywhere. I don't know. The thing I like about it is you are having the discussion and you are trying to make some progress. There's talk of abolishing the IRS. Flat sales tax. So I don't know. You could argue this all day, but there are pros and cons. I mean, you think about it, if somebody doesn't make a lot of income, well, they're paying the 30% sales tax. That really hits them. They don't. So I don't know. But then you got to look at it. Well, there could be a great black market then too, because if people are dealing in cash and crypto that's has privacy features built in, Litecoin, Monero, then might be a little bit harder to make that sales tax take effect, because you don't know, like a private transaction, how would you do that? You've got, I'm going to sell somebody something for X amount of dollars. What happens when do I have to collect 25-30% sales tax and send that in? What does that happen in private party transactions? So there's a lot to be worked out on all that. But it does need reform, the tax code. It needs to not punish people. Again, I'm completely against property tax. I think it's wrong. Once you own your property, you should own your property. A allodial title. I mean, that's honestly, I wish it were that way. It should be that way. To be sovereign. You need to be life, liberty, and property. That's what John Locke said. And that's what the constitutional principles, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, it was all based on that. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is what it was changed to, which is more all-encompassing. But life, liberty, and property, because property was so important to your freedom and your sovereignty. You got a right to property. Well, you don't have that right to property if you've got a governmental arm that comes in and says you need to pay this amount every year for your property. Otherwise, we're going to come take it. And who comes and takes it? The sheriff. Sheriff comes and takes it. Now, that's why it's so important to have good sheriffs that follow the Constitution and constitutional law. I mean, does it say in the Constitution that, you can levy taxes on property? Where did this concept come from? I mean, is that a constitutional prospect or law or principle? If I were sheriff, I'd say absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not going to come take somebody's property if it's all bought and paid for. Why would I do that? It's crazy. So, anyway, that's just my thought. There was a CEO of, I think it was Morgan Stanley, that was talking about what's going on in Davos at the World Economic Forum, and he essentially said it's just one big echo chamber where everybody's repeating the same thing the other person said. I mean, they have the same concepts and this and that, and I agree with that, and that's why yesterday in my video I talked about it's like they really don't have any power. I mean, if they're politicians and they come home and they try and implement these policies, you just say no. You call them out for it and you say, absolutely not. I'm not going to give this thing energy. I'm not going to give it power. I mean, so they really, ultimately the power comes from the people. And if we don't give it to them, if we don't give it energy, then what does it really have? And I think that's why they're starting to freak out over there and they're panicking and they're just very, I don't want to say passionate, but it's almost like a panic, a fear almost. They want to get this stuff implemented. They want these 2030 agendas. They want these completely, on a control grid. Have your print cards everywhere you go. They want it to go digital to where it's on your phone or ideally implanted in you with all the information. So wherever you go, that it's there, and they know what you've done and what you haven't done. I mean, they just want a total control grid where they can track and trace everything that you do, because they're weak people. And that's the only thing they know how to do, is control us through technology and force in the past and fear. But a lot of people are waking up. I mean, I just get that sense. I have that feeling more so than ever. I really haven't had this feeling to where I feel like they're in trouble. And they feel it. And it's just a matter of, hey, all we have to do is wake up and say no. World changes tomorrow, right now, if we just say no. That's it. Just say no. That's kind of my default answer. You know, when somebody asks me a question, hey, I was thinking, I go, no. I just ask Mitch. That's kind of what I do. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So yeah, that's just, you know, it's easy, just say no. That's what we need to do to these people. Today is Friday. That means it's Happy Hour Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time on Litecoin Lisa's channel. I will be lighting up a cigar for the first time in 2 weeks. Have not had a cigar since Happy Hour 2 weeks ago. Have not had a drink since Happy Hour 2 weeks ago. Just decided I was going to go through this little bit of a purging, make sure, you know, the body's not addicted to these substances, and just make a clean break just to know that you can do it. And I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing not to be stuck in a rut and continue to do the same things, have the form habits that are lifelong. Next thing you know, you're smoking for 30 years. You know, who wants to do that? I mean, yeah, we all want to do that, but I mean, we know it's not good for us. So it's good to take a break, give your body a reset and kind of restructure, because here's a good example of what's happened. Yesterday I was going to finish it and the last day of the cleanse, but I kind of got into the mindset of, you know, I'm just kind of changing my habits, my lifestyle, the way I eat, those kinds of things. And I've kind of restructured my tastes. And my desire for food, addiction to food, you know, another addiction. So yesterday I was just, you know, all liquid, you know, just water, and I haven't given up coffee because I plan not to. I've done it before in the past, and this time I'm just not doing it. So I drank coffee, water, some cold pressed pineapple juice, and, you know, I just had all liquid all day until about 5 p.m. And I really wasn't that hungry. But my wife had made some soup. And then she had a bowl of fruit that she cut up, you know, mangoes and all this other good stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'll eat that. So I ate that, and I'm like, oh, that was good. And she's been making great salads for me, you know, the past couple of nights. I can eat a salad every day. There's a place around here in Peoria that just makes a really good salad. Big bowl of it. It's called Psychedelic Salad. And I mean, it's just like the balsamic vinaigrette. And oh, man, it's just really good. All the fresh stuff. So anyway, she's been making me fresh salads, you know, onions, radishes, celery, you know, just all this stuff in it. And I make my own dressing. I make it with honey, organic apple cider vinegar, olive oil, 3 parts, you know, equal parts. And then I add a little bit of mustard, a little organic mustard, the squirt bottle, and then some salt and pepper. And I mix it all up. And that's my dressing. That's what I put on everything. And I mean, it's just all that's good for you. It's good for the gut. And so that's, it's really good. If you get the portions right, you just, you know, mix it how you want. But that's it. That's basically it. You know, you've got olive oil, you get all organic stuff. Organic olive oil, organic honey, local honey is the best if you can get it. Organic apple cider vinegar, and then a little bit of mustard to taste, and they don't need much, you know, organic mustard, and then put some sea salt and cracked pepper and put it in there, mix it up. And get it to the way you want it, and I just pour it all over the salad. And it's just really good. And it's like, man, this is good. And it takes forever to eat, so it slows you down. You know, your brain doesn't, you know, really understand that you're full, or your stomach doesn't understand that you're full. One or the other. You don't know you're full until about 20 minutes after you start eating, until after you're full. So if you eat slowly, and you know, then your body has time to catch up, and your brain's like, oh crap, I'm full, stop eating, stop feeding me. And you know, otherwise, usually we eat under, that's why fast food's so bad. I mean, because if you don't wait that 20-minute period to eat and you don't stretch it out, you're eating it and you're already full before you know it, before you realize it. So you're stuffed. You're like, oh God, I'm miserable. Because fast food is designed to be eaten quickly. And so you eat it and you just eat too much. before you realize you're full. But if you drag that out and you have something like a big salad, I paid for the big salad. It's a big salad, yeah. If you have a big salad, it slows you down. And by the time you're like halfway through the thing, or, 3/4 of the way through, you're like, ooh, I'm done. And if you finish it, you're just like, I don't want anything else. And then you've eaten good, healthy stuff. Anyway, I digress. I've been eating better. And last night there was some soup. She said, here, try this. She gave me a little bit. She made some dumplings, in it. Usually I'm just like all over that. So I had some. I had 2 bites, and I'm just like, ugh, just tasted artificial. Tasted fake to me. It just had a funk. And I said, what kind of base is this? What's in it? And she said, it's cream of mushroom. And I said, well, where did it come from? She says, just out of a can. And it was just, I don't know, it was Campbell's. It was something, just, and it just tasted fake. And so that's what happens. That's what I wanted to get to throughout this 2-week period. Is to kind of reset my taste buds, reset, the things the flavors and all that stuff. So I become more like a raw animal again. And every time I smell something or taste something, I'm like, no, don't put that in your body. Whereas before it's just like, whatever. Oh yeah, I'll eat that. And it's just, it resets something in you by getting away from the food and going raw, having raw food. And that's pretty much what I did. Just had raw food, uncooked food. I ate everything I wanted, but I just had raw food. And so now I screwed myself up to where all those goodies, they're just not so good anymore. So I'm thinking, man, will I ever enjoy pizza again? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Depends on the pizza. That's where I'm at though. Drinking my coconut water, that kind of stuff. So I'm at this point, I'm like, I just really don't care to eat. But you need to get some nutrients. So anyway, into the cleanse, into the fasting period, I guess, into this 2-week period of fasting from cigars and alcohol. So why are you going back to it? I mean, I could probably just walk away from it at this point. But we'll see how it goes. It's going to be happy hour. I'm going to light up a cigar. I am going to have a drink. I don't know what I'm going to drink yet. I guess we'll find out. It'll be a surprise. But 4 p.m. Central Time, tune in to Litecoin Lisa's channel, and we will talk about all the current events, whatever's going on, Davos, and, the Corvette confidential documents hidden in the garage at the Biden household. All those things, current events, crypto, we'll get into that. I'll give you my opinion, what I think about crypto and what it's going to do this weekend and maybe into next week and throughout the year. And for eternity and beyond. So we'll talk about all those things. Hope to see you there. Jump in the chat. It's always lively. A lot of people going back and forth. The YouTube channel, go to Litecoin Lisa on YouTube. Check us out at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. All right. Love you all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you watching me rant. You don't have to do that. I just do it because I'm in my car and I'm talking to myself anyway. So I turn on the TV. I turn on the camera, and you get to have a glimpse into the Westwood world. All right. Trust yourselves in this madness. That's the only thing you can do. You got to trust yourself, trust your instincts, use your discernment. A lot of crazy things going on, but when you step back and realize this is all a movie that I can choose to participate in or not, this theater, then it empowers you. You give it power or you don't give it power. It's your energy. Do what you want with it. Make a joke out of the whole thing, because it kind of is a joke. World Economic Forum and all these kind of clowns, really. You watch them, and if you step back and you just, wow, this is kind of hokey, kind of funny, and then you don't give them power in real life. All right, let the system fall. Reinvent it and manifest a new reality. Trust yourselves. It'll all work out. Love y'all. Hope you have a wonderful Friday, and hope to see you on Happy Hour.